10-week hunt for one of the world's most expensive foods, black truffles.
Black diamonds.
An historic drought has made truffles scarce.
Bone dry, man.
Now, an early frost could destroy the crop.
First frost will start killing my truffles.
Guys are working twice as hard for half as much.
And the forests are filled with desperate men.
Holy, looks like a damn nuclear bomb went off in it. Man, I got a pretty heavy frost this morning. Once it gets in the trees, it gets in my moss. On top of my truffle patches, it'll start killing my truffles.
For the first half of a 10-week black truffle hunt, Richie Maxfield has lived in a black truffle gold mine he calls Old Faithful.
Unlike waking up with ice on you, definitely have to find a way to winterize this hut.
But he's on the verge of losing his entire mother lode to an early frost.
I better go check on Old Faithful right now.
Oregon's black truffles grow along the roots of Douglas firs, but they need water. Richie is siphoning water from a nearby pond into Old Faithful to replace the water lost in this year's historic drought.
Right now, the frost is just right on the surface, but once it gets a little deeper, it'll push that freeze down into, 2-3 inches into the soil. Once I get a deep freeze, that'll wipe out more than half my truffle patches. See right here, there's no frost on the surface. We're on an east-facing slope, so the morning sun comes in first thing and basically kills all the frost off the surface, but it's still frozen underneath.
He's been irrigating Old Faithful with 2,400 gallons of water a day, hoping for a $20,000 payday during the holiday rush.
If I can insulate these truffles, I can trap that ambient heat, keep my truffles from freezing. Frost is like kryptonite to these things. My dad always was out there, cover all of our tomato starts or anything, corn popping up. If it's gonna freeze, he saves them every winter. Create a nice canopy that sticks, branches. Get a layer of moss on top of these sticks. Cover my lines all up, keep them from freezing. Should separate the freeze from the soil, protect it up to maybe upwards of 5 degrees warmer underneath this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to cover this area and protect it from the nightly frost from the dew. I can't afford that in this patch. I have irrigation in here, time and energy into it.
This is the worst season I've seen since I got into this business.
It's not just small-time diggers struggling to make ends meet. Even Oregon's truffle kingpin, Justin Anderson, is reeling from the drought.
I've only got 230 pounds of truffles for the first couple months of digging. Normally, I'd have 700 or 800 pounds by now.
There are over 28 million acres of forest in Oregon, but only a small percentage produces truffles. With the frost sweeping in after a devastating drought, this year's crop could be the worst ever.
If I'm having trouble digging truffles, I know that these small-time guys are ready to go broke. They came through here and logged this. It's just work for a lot of people. Homes, toilet paper, and any other wood products that people use. The trees grow here whether we plant them or not. This is part of Oregon. Grab some sticks, pitch, whatever you need. Frost ain't gonna bother the truffles, but if we get into a deep freeze, it could knock out a few % of them. Larry, Cody, come on. All right, guys, we've been hit again.
With the rough conditions, truffle poachers have gotten more brazen. Each day brings new reports of patches hit overnight.
I'm pissed. These son of a bitches are stealing from us. They're desperate. They know there's only so many patches that have truffles this season. Larry, I want you to dump some trees across that unit. Okay. On the road. That way there's only one way in.
It's difficult to catch poachers in the act, but Justin can make it harder for them to access the patches or to leave the area.
If we catch them in there, all somebody has to do is circle around behind them and cut some trees behind them. Then we got them blocked from both ways. You guys got it?
Sounds good.
All right.
Check out the ice up in the tops of the trees.
Yeah, man, I can't believe it.
It's gonna be burly.
15 miles south of Fall City, Ty Hale and Levi Schwartzendruber are deep in Justin's territory. They become the main supplier to a back-channel dealer.
$2,850.
And now they must deliver 12 pounds of truffles every 3 days.
The Emerald Forest is big money at this patch.
It's a good spot.
Gotta do whatever we gotta do to get some mushrooms out of the ground. Gotta make some money.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Let's do it, huh?
Yeah, hopefully we get enough troubles to make a couple $1,000s again.
They're heading deeper into the Emerald Forest than ever before.
About 2 hours more. It'll be worth it when we get there, though.
To a low-lying area that they hope is not frozen.
That frost kind of screwed us. We gotta get to this little belly that's got a little denser, thicker trees. Hoping that would have kept the frost out for us.
I guess we're gonna get these truffles before freaking the ice does.
Yeah.
Whoa. Dude, look at this.
Look at those hooks, dude. Those are fresh.
Truffle digging ain't the only thing around here. There's all kinds of things out here in the woods that'll get you. Who does something like that?
It's definitely tweaker stuff. The worst people that are out here are definitely the meth cooks, because they'll do anything to protect what they're doing, and their mind ain't straight either.
Since the 1980s, Oregon has been a hotbed of crystal methamphetamine production. But state and federal authorities cracked down hard on meth labs, shutting down over 1,000 from 2003 to 2006. Since then, meth cooks have taken refuge in the forest, setting traps around their perimeters to keep people away.
Now, they could have a meth lab, they could have a product stashed, and when they start coming down off of that drug, there's no telling what they're willing to do. I think it's probably best if we just keep moving. Let's just get to the patch and get out of here.
Whoa, dude. You see that? It's a trap right here. Yeah, there ain't no bait around here, and it ain't anchored to nothing, so it's definitely not set for an animal.
That's a bobcat trap, you know? If they were trying to catch a bobcat, they'd just set some bait up, 15 feet away, catch the cat. You can clearly tell it ain't nothing like that going on.
This winter's a real bitch. I get shrivel balls, man. Let's go. It's cold.
Go get him, huh?
The frost has been a disaster for old-timers Terry and Roy, so they're packing up and heading west toward the coast.
Nelsonville's towards the coast. It's a lot warmer there. The frost hasn't hit there yet.
Truffle patches closer to Oregon's coast will be insulated by warmer air temperatures blowing in off the nearby Pacific Ocean.
On a good year, Roy and I've made up to $40,000, $50,000 a piece. But on this drought year, we'll be lucky if we make $5,000, $10,000. Come on! The tax only logging trucks.
The timber business has been the cornerstone of the Oregon economy since the 1859 California Gold Rush. And by the 20th century, over 15,000 sawmills sprang up all over western Oregon. Today, the region is one of the largest lumber producers in the nation, and so much wood is taken from these forests that the landscape can change overnight.
Should be just right up here on the left.
Oh, man. Holy. Look at what they did in the Nelsonville.
Looks like a damn nuclear bomb went off in it.
Coming up, tensions build in the forest.
Can you hear that?
And the old-timers are forced into a corner.
Oh, my God.
The tax only logging trucks.
Terry and Roy have driven 2 hours to Oregon's coast to try and beat the frost.
Holy, Roy, look at that.
But they've been beaten to the punch by loggers.
Looks like a damn nuclear bomb went off in it.
Back when they discovered truffles, there were about 3 million acres of forest that produced black truffles. But the forests have shrunk considerably since then.
Oh, my God.
Clear cutting is the most profitable method of logging in which most or all of the trees in an area are uniformly cut down. This removes topsoil and destroys black truffles.
20 years ago, this is all public lands. Logging was off limits. But they're selling Oregon to the highest bidder, and that's horrible.
Now what are we gonna do?
See that tree line right there?
Yeah?
That's our ticket, buddy. I don't know who owns it, but worry about that later. Let's find out if there's something there. Let's hit it. They throw a shoe in our face, we'll throw a horse back. They're making it to where a man can't make an honest living. Now they call you a poacher. But my God, what is a poacher? Somebody who does what he's got to do to survive? If so, consider me a poacher.
I want you guys to go down to the Feldheimer patch and hit that lower piece.
60 miles east of Terry and Roy, Justin Anderson is strategically deploying his men across 320,000 acres of exclusive truffle ground, trying to beat the frost.
We're supposed to get a week to 2 weeks of hard freeze. It could freeze the ground down 6 to 8 inches. It's gonna be a cold night, I won't lie, but you guys should do well.
He's way behind on his quota and cannot allow this early frost to slow down his operation anymore.
Surface truffles will freeze solid, and when they start to unthaw, they just break down and turn to mush. I'm sending my crew out to the south side of the hill, because most likely it's been unthawed the most. And if they can't get them there, then we're bringing back pick bars, and we're gonna break the ground. Okay, John, Nate, Alex,
Alex Greeling is a new employee who is still trying to find his place in this massive operation.
I'm gonna have you guys go into the northeast corner of the Feldheimer.
I took a job with Justin's crew because I'm 18 years old, but I got a family, a kid, and a girlfriend that I gotta be taking care of, and I'd rather be out here working in the forest than flipping burgers or working at some desk.
In past years, when an early frost hit, Justin would grab a rake and pitch in. But today, he has to focus on an even bigger threat to his supply.
Something walked through here this morning.
Over the last few weeks,
Stay back.
poachers have descended on his land.
We don't know if they got a weapon. With this drought that we've had and the heavy freeze, these small-time guys are ready to go broke. They're gonna hit me again and again and again. I ain't gonna put up with no more. I had a gang one time attack me for my money and my mushrooms. The first guy came in and stuck me in the arm. The second guy I grabbed by the neck and clonked into the guy that had the knife, and then I knocked them both down. There's big money out here and people will cut you up for it.
Even though Justin's land is vast, there's one choke point that everyone has to pass through: Falls City. So 3 years ago, Justin put a spy on the payroll.
Gotta talk to my informant immediately. Let's just call him Rain Man. I'm gonna have you guys hop out right up here. I don't want him to see you. What do you got?
There's a couple guys selling truffles this morning. I think they picked them off your spot. I was talking to them. Might be going back there tonight.
Good, thank you. The way I understand it, I got hit pretty hard last night over at Oak Creek. And even though I've got a lot of land to dig on, I don't like losing one single truffle. I'm gonna head in there tonight, and if I find them, we're gonna bust them.
When I was a young kid, I grew up out in the countryside, kind of got into hunting and trapping squirrels and raccoons and whatnot. That kind of got me into building snares.
10 miles northeast, Richie is planning to set traps of his own.
I got a little bit of wire. I should be able to whip one out in just a few minutes. There's a little hole to his home right down in here. He's gonna come shooting through that hole, hooking that snare, and I'll hopefully have something to eat. First frost, that means winter's coming. I gotta get proper supplies so I can get a fire set up in my hut before night falls and temperatures plummet.
With forecasts of overnight temperatures below freezing every night for the next 2 weeks, Richie needs to get his home base set up for winter, and there's only one man who can help him.
Every day between 10 and noon, Ken likes to drive this road into town. That sounds like him right there. Whoa, Ken! Ken!
Hey, Richie.
Long time no see.
Yeah. What's up?
I got a little shack I've been trying to stay in, and it's freezing me out in the morning. It's starting to get dark. I don't have long. Getting cold. I was wondering if you had something I could make a fire pit out of. You have anything else with fire retardant capability?
Yeah, let's see. I think house plumbing. Yeah. Okay. Go. I got a bucket of leftover tile pieces, which I happened to pick up. Here's all I got.
Yeah, I think this will do the trick. What do you want for that?
How about $4 and I'll throw in the bucket.
That's a deal. You have a nice day.
If there's one trap, there's probably more.
Ty and Levi are in the deepest part of the Emerald Forest, trying to beat the frost, but they aren't alone.
You know, we're gonna have to move as slow as we can. It's kind of nerve-wracking out here.
These traps could be the work of methamphetamine manufacturers trying to protect their cookhouse.
Here's one, Ty. I'm in a nice pocket right here. Oh, yeah, there's nice ones in here, man. Nice ones in here, man. Dude, it's like this whole hillside's loaded. Hey. There's a trap right here. There's one right here, too. Yeah, it's almost like they got a perfect line of them right through here. That was kind of loud. Try to be as quiet as we can. Did you hear that?
Coming up, frustrations are setting in,
Whoever's here ruined this passion.
and the forest comes to life.
I can see some people moving around. Let's just get out of here. Oh, man. Let's dig these out as quick as we can.
3 miles deep in a patch they called the Emerald Forest, renegade hunters Ty and Levi are elbow deep in black truffles, unaffected by the early freeze.
There's a trap right here.
But they're not alone.
Hear that? Yeah, there's a lot of freaking traps around here. And we keep hearing noises, so could be some meth heads, dope growers or something, so normally we would probably just get out of here, but we got a small window to make the money we need to make. There's another one of them traps right there, Ty. Let's just get out of here, dude. We'll go find somewhere else in here.
Really want a machete? Something with enough oomph. It's a multi-purpose tool. Use it to clear big stuff. Not a beginner's tool. I mean, one slip and I can take my own kneecap off.
13 miles to the northeast, Richie is working his way through some of the thickest forest in the area.
I gotta admit, getting a little sick of looking for all this stuff out here, too.
With winter rapidly approaching, Richie's going to build a backwoods fireplace to help beat the cold, but he needs to rustle up some supplies.
You know, living out here, can't just go to town for anything I need. I'll build that thing out of rocks and trash if I have to. Build this fireplace. Back in the day, there were lumber mills everywhere up here. Only thing left is a foundation. Gonna be built out of rocks, brick, whatever they had back then. Either way, any of those materials will help me out.
Oregon's timber mill boom dates back to the early 1900s, when each mill produced an average of 200 million feet per year. As forests were depleted, many mills were abandoned and rebuilt in unharvested areas. Today, remnants from dozens of abandoned mills are hiding in the woods of Oregon.
Garbage in the brush over here. Surviving out here isn't just about knowing about nature. It's about knowing how to use what you might find. And I'm not sure what I'll use this iron rod for, but I'm sure I'll find something. Here we go, there's some bricks. There's always stuff lying around old lumber mills up here. These bricks are gonna come in handy. A little dirty, but that's perfect. Should be enough bricks to get me started up there. One man's garbage is another man's treasure. set for some bricks. Protector from the wind. Oh, yeah. I could get some firewood and test this thing out.
Yeah, there's a tree line right over there, Roy.
60 miles west near Oregon's coast, Terry and Roy have been pushed to the limits of the law, hunting land clearly marked as a no-go zone.
Awful lot of garbage around here.
It's like they had a party up here. Water bottles, juice bottles, batteries.
If they get caught, they could be arrested for trespassing. And without a pig, there's no way to sniff out new seams, so any digging here is a shot in the dark.
Well, let's see what we got here, bud.
But Terry's got an old trick to see if it's worth digging the spot.
Yeah. I don't taste anything.
They're not here?
I don't think so. Get the hell out of here.
A whole day wasted.
This is what I got. 4.01 pounds. Let's just call it 400 bucks even. Okie dokie.
100 miles southeast, Justin's men are already starting to return from their hunt.
There you go. I appreciate it, sir.
His supply is being squeezed by drought, frost, and poachers.
Hey, Alex. Looks like you did all right today for a new guy.
He's on track to pull in another 70 pounds today, but still far behind his target for this time of the hunt.
Tonight, we're going up to Old Creek, and we're gonna find out who's stealing the truffles. I want you to meet me up on Indian Hill at 7:30, next to that big old crow stump, all right?
All right, will do.
Digging for Justin is only part of the job. After he got the tip that one of his truffle patches is being robbed, he's going to try and catch the poachers red-handed.
I think Alex is extremely green at this point, but I also think he has potential. Before I welcome any digger to my crew, they have to be initiated. We'll see where his dedication lies tonight.
Justin's plan to stake the woods out at night could backfire. Because there's a more dangerous element than poachers out there.
Crab's right there, Ty.
And 10 miles south, Ty and Levi are finding out firsthand that they might be intruding on illegal drug operations.
See some light. We're way out in the middle of the woods, dude, in the middle of nowhere. Where there's got to be a meth lab, dude.
I can see some people moving around, man.
Let's just get out of here.
This abandoned trailer has all the markings of a makeshift meth lab. Coming up,
Nothing in this one.
Approach it with caution.
Justin plays judge, jury, and executioner.
I think we'll block their asses in.
And Ty and Levi make a frightening discovery.
Let's just get out of here.
After finding about $3,000 worth of truffles deep in the Oregon forest, Ty and Levi have also found booby traps.
It's not a good place for us to be.
This abandoned trailer could be a makeshift meth lab.
I definitely hear someone in there. Yeah, I see him right there. Is he looking at us? Let's just get out of here.
Now out of gunshot range, Ty and Levi must navigate 3 miles back to their truck through a minefield of booby traps.
Yeah, we'll have to go out and around a different way.
Yeah, it'll take us a little bit longer, but better than getting shot.
There's a meeting set for sunrise with their dealer. And with the price set at $150 per pound, they don't want to miss it.
I better check my snares I set this morning. Maybe I'll get a chance to have something to eat tonight. That'd be nice.
As the sunlight fades from the forest surrounding Falls City, Richie is on the hunt.
Nope, nothing in this one.
He's got a series of traps set for small game.
Nothing in that one. There's all kinds of things to eat out here. You get out in the spring, you can have blackberries, mushrooms, licorice root ferns. All the roots of those are actually flavored just like black licorice. Oh, yes. Looks like I'm having rabbit for dinner tonight. I'm going to skin it nice and flat, make a nice flat out of it. You know, one of my first jobs was hiking around with my dad. He used to pack me around on his shoulders back when I was 5 and 6 years old. By the time I was 8, 9 years old, he was paying me $5 a pop to skin bobcats and everything he'd catch in his traps. Actually, one time, one of the first things I ever skinned, I started to skin this deer I shot, my first deer. And apparently I shot his little horn off and it went to skin it out and the thing jumped up beside me. Scared the out of me for sure. It's a fair amount of meat. I could eat that in one night, but I'd probably stretch that baby over a couple days. A little salt and pepper. That's my romantic evening.
Nice cabin.
Thanks.
Over 100 miles from home, Terry and Roy arrive at a cabin that's been in Terry's family for generations.
Let's go build a fire.
Without a single truffle to show for their efforts and the money they spent on gas, their exhausting day has cost them dearly.
There we go.
Been a long time since you've been up here, huh?
Hell of a long time. Dad and I used to come here all the time, every weekend, and get some truffles. It was that easy. It was fun. You know, and seeing it being treated like this just... I know, it doesn't give me a real good feeling. You know, there's this one patch on the backside of this place. It's called Avalon Fields. Dad and I used to go there and get some hogs. They'd clear cut it. And they did replant it. There was a good timber company that's replanted. So it's about 30, 35 years old.
That's just about right.
The reason why 30 years is the ultimate time for a clear cut to regenerate is because it takes that long for the canopy to build. This canopy protects the little critters who spread the truffle spore, and it seems to work. Gonna save our ass. Really gonna save our ass. And I really think they're gonna be there. Hopefully, we're not farting through grass, we're farting through silk. Let's go inside and rest up.
So how's it going? One of my informants told me that we got poachers in one of our patches tonight.
Back in Falls City, Justin is on the prowl.
This must be Larry.
He's been tipped off that poachers may be hitting one of his biggest patches tonight.
What's going on?
We did see some tire tracks that looked pretty fresh down below.
Huh.
So he's having his new recruit, Alex, join him on a night patrol.
Times are getting desperate. People are coming out and poaching us at night. When people are starting to close in on the patches that I have contracts on, I gotta get out and check it out myself. I'll bring the whole crew out. If I find anybody, it ain't gonna be good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Fresh tracks. All right, let's go. Approach it with caution. There could be somebody in it.
Think you know who it is?
Yeah, I know who it is. That's Ty and Levi. I would imagine they're right over that hill digging one of my good spots. I think we'll knock a tree across the road and block their asses in.
Thought I was gonna be truffle hunting, but now I guess I'm going on a manhunt. This isn't quite what I signed up for, but I'm gonna roll with it at the moment.
In the forests of Oregon, the best weapon is using a tree to send a message.
I've been working in the woods all my life. I started cutting timber when I was 16. That ought to fix them. Let's get the hell out of here. I have about 230,000 acres that I have contract on to collect minor forest products of all kinds. Mushrooms, truffles, medicinal plants, berries, botanicals. There's a lot of things out here worth a lot of money. Oh, a chicken in the woods. This is a sulfur mushroom, $3.50 a pound. These are only good when they're fresh. You see how tender that is? Juicy. See how easy that knife pokes into that? That'll be some good eating. Fried up, kind of got a lemon chicken flavor. And we'll leave this, and probably some more will grow out this season.
Short of having some truffle stuffed in there, not sure how much better that can get.
5 miles deep in the woods outside Falls City, Richie is living off the land where he can protect his patch, Old Faithful.
That rabbit cooking right there, I got it by myself. I don't need anybody. I don't need electricity. Don't need any running water. There's a stream right nearby, running clear straight out the mountain. Can get me a fire going. This is a life. I wouldn't trade this for a mansion in the city.
feel a little bit turned around in this fog or something.
I think we should just keep on going over a couple hills.
17 miles east, Ty and Levi are making a slow escape from a suspected backwoods crystal meth cook lab.
No matter what, we're gonna find our way out of here. I mean,
They're taking care not to get snared by any of the traps strewn across the forest floor.
We run into that meth lab and traps and a bunch of stuff like that, so ended up having to go a different way than normal. Got dark on us.
They've got a sale at sunrise with a dealer who trades on the Asian black market. And with about $3,000 worth of black truffles on them, resting is not an option.
Only way to navigate at nighttime is find the North Star. Once you find that, you ain't never gonna get lost.
After 3 hours of hiking in complete darkness, the eastern horizon is just starting to give some light.
son of a bitch.
I don't even think we can move this one with your truck.
Son of a bitch.
With their truck pinned in by a felled tree, Ty and Levi may not make it out of the forest after all.
We ain't got no chain to try to pull it.
They have an hour to get back to Falls City and meet their dealer. If they're late, they risk losing out on the sale altogether.
Yeah, the last time I was here, about 30 years ago with Dad, and they clear cut it then, so it takes that long for the trees and the truffles to grow back.
As the sun rises over the eastern mountains, Terry and Roy are in a last-ditch effort to keep their coast trip from becoming a total washout.
Oh, look at that deer. Wow.
This look familiar?
It's starting to come back to me. Hang on a minute, Roy. It looks a lot different. But, this is it. I dug here as a kid, just right in there and up those hillsides. Nobody's been here, man.
No, no footprints.
Let's let Fang do this bitch and get going on it.
Although they'd normally use a pig to sniff out new seams, Terry's betting that hunting in Avalon Fields will be similar to the hunts he did with his dad here, when dirt under virtually every tree held truffles.
They're here.
Yes.
They're here. We should hit the jackpot here. We really should.
Oh, look at this trail. Maybe they're on this trail, dude. Animals walk the trails and step on truffles, and deer and elk step on them and spread them all over.
Come on! Give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah! God, came rolling out. See that? Come on, little truffsters. You run, but you can't hide.
Oh, here's one. Nice one, too.
Come on, babies, come on.
Terry, check this one out. Ooh, hot diggity.
It's nice.
Find one?
About time, Roy.
Oh, there's... Oh, dude.